You guys remember that verse, or you know that verse that says, He was never gonna leave nor forsake us. God never left me and He never forsake me. He was with me. I mean, He was right by my side. He held my hand and He told me, you know what, my daughter, everything will be fine. And we were able to sort out my initial deposit. And on the 15th of December at dawn,
you can bank on it. You can put 100 grand on it. Anything I said, I'll stamp on it. In a private plane, I'll lamp on it.
Wow. Let's do this. Hi guys. This video is going to be very refreshing to film. Welcome and welcome back to my channel, guys. Thank you so much for stopping by, and I bet this will be one of the best communities you've ever joined on YouTube. So from the title of today's video, you already know what it entails, right? I'm going to give you guys a major life update / how I came to Australia, so you can also come too. I have my book of life here because I don't want to forget anything. I want to give you guys the full gist, okay? So if you see me looking down, please pardon me. And if this is your first time stopping by, please don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel, watch my videos, like my videos, and share my videos. I have a travel prep vlog, I have a travel vlog. Please don't forget to watch all those videos, okay? So without further ado, let's get right into today's video. I started my whole relocation journey for a very long time, a very long one. And the plan was to go to Canada. It has been Canada always, and it was Canada on my bucket list. I mean, I knew I was not going to be in Ghana for a long time. So I started gathering information, started asking anyone that could give me anything that could help me. I started searching for good provinces, started searching for good schools with affordable tuition and all of that good stuff. Anyone that knows me know that I am an ambassador to Admission World Consults back in Ghana, and it's an institution that they deal with students who want to travel abroad to study. Canada, USA, America, all of those big countries, yeah. So I reached out to him and I'm like, oh, this is the plan. So what are we going to do? So he was like, oh, you know what? I'll just shortlist some schools to you. Then we see how we go about that. So he gave me the schools that we could possibly apply to. And we were down by 3 schools. So that was Mohawk, Niagara, and Seneca. And I got admission from 2 of them, but the last one, I'm still waiting to hear from them. Long story short, I didn't hear from them till today. So I got admission from Mohawk and I got admission from Niagara, and I didn't get admission from Seneca College. Long story short, my interest of relocating to Canada started drifting away small when I started hearing the news on TV, on the internet about housing crisis, about jobs, etc. So I called my friend and I was like, Charlie, this is what is going on in Canada. So what's your mind? Then my friend was like, have you thought of Australia? Then I was like, okay, we'll think about it. So I mentioned Australia to my mom. And fun fact is, from the day I mentioned Australia to my mom, I had no peace in my house ever again. Because initially, when I mentioned to her that I wanted to go to Canada, she was not in support for her own reasons. So she was so happy I brought up another country to relocate to. My mom finally managed to change my mind, and I finally settled on relocating to Australia. The truth is that I didn't have any information about how to come to Australia. I didn't know anything about coming to Australia. I genuinely did not know how to navigate my way through the entire process. So I started reaching out to a couple of people, like anyone that could possibly give me any slight information about relocating to Australia. And unfortunately for me, the study abroad company that I work with don't deal with international schools in Australia. They don't deal with anything concerning Australia. That was also a difficult one for me to cross. So I kept on searching and searching and searching, and the dominant agency that kept coming up was Intake Ghana. That's how they were formerly known, but now they are known as IDP Ghana. And anyone that knows IDP Ghana knows that their services are extremely free. You don't charge a dime, or they don't take a penny from anyone. So I decided to go to their office, and when I went there, I asked them about their requirements, and she asked me, her name is Auntie Dora. Auntie Dora asked me, Fafa, are you willing to write the English test? And at that point, I wasn't ready to go and learn for any exam. But I feel like because IDP is totally free, their rules are really rigid. Like, they are not ready to bend the rules for you. So I kept on searching because honestly, I wasn't ready to write the English exams. I kept on searching and searching. And I spoke to a friend one night, and she said, oh, Fafa, why don't you try Male Educational Services? Mind you, they are not in Ghana, they are in Nigeria. So I told her that, okay, I'll try and send them a message on WhatsApp or Instagram. So I texted them on Instagram, and it took less than 2 hours for them to reply. So when they replied, I was like, okay, I think these people mean business. So I texted them, and they sent me their WhatsApp number. And even before that, prior to that, they sent me a checklist on Instagram. And they also had that requirement inside that in case the course I am applying to needed the English proficiency, was I willing to write it? And I noticed it was something that was predominant, like it kept on repeating. So at that point, I had no choice, and I said, okay, yes, I'll write it. That's if the course required me to write that test. Mind you, these are few tips you should take notes when you're applying to schools, okay? So take your pen and your paper and write it down, because if you come and ask me later, me and you fight, okay? So the first one is search for schools that offer your program. The second one is search for affordable schools, schools with good tuition fees, because until you relocate to the country that you are going to pay everything in the city equivalents, and you already know with this high exchange rate, everything is crazy. And thirdly, you are supposed to check the city you are going to or the province you are going to and their immigration pathways, okay? This is like something bonus I'm giving to you. If you come and ask me later, me and you fight, okay? Fafalireigna and Male Educational Services got serious. We started the real deal. They sent me the checklist, and they sent me the names of the schools that they work with, which is Queensland University of Technology, University of Southern Queensland, Monash University, Victoria University, University of Technology Sydney. I'll try and put the names of the schools that they work with on the screen so you guys can check it out. So they sent me their requirements, which is their service charge and the documents that they needed for me to apply to the school. So Male Educational Services was charging $300 for the entire process. School application, helping you with your CV, helping you with your SOP, and $300 in their currency is 250,000 naira. And mind you, paying that money had charges on them, international transfer on charges on them, because you are sending the money from Ghana to Nigeria. So When they sent me the list of the schools, mind you, I wanted a school in Sydney, and schools in Sydney are extremely expensive. I finally settled on the school that I wanted to go, finally settled on the course, and we found out that getting admission from the school is just as competitive as getting the course I wanted to read. Then I was scared, I was worried, because it's not like I had all A's in my first degree or like I was a first class student. But you know what? I put my faith in God and I told God to just have his way in this whole process. It was time for us to apply, but before you can apply, I had to send all my school documents to the Ministry of Foreign Affairs for them to authenticate them before I can use it for any international application. So I went there somewhere October, or I don't really remember, and I got that sorted out, and I sent the documents, soft copies of the document, to Male Educational Services for them to go through and make sure they had everything intact before they could start with the application. On the 16th of November 2023, I woke up and I texted Male Educational Services, and I was like, you know what? You have all my documents are intact, and I think we should apply. I put my faith in God and I told them that, you know what? Let's just apply to the school. Immediately we applied to the school. It was emotionally draining me. And while I was waiting, I didn't want to put all my eggs into one basket. So I was still holding on to the admissions from the Canadian schools. And this is where my testimony started snapping in. I applied to my school on the 16th of November 2023. And on 24th of that same November 2023, which is just 9 days, I woke up at dawn and I was going to Accra, normal Makola girl things, and I said, oh, let me just go through my mail. And I just went through my mail, saw the offer, and I was like, is it a joke? Or like, am I dreaming? And that was not all. What even swept me off my feet was they gave me a 20% scholarship. At that point, I was shaking. I didn't know what to do. I didn't know if I should jump, I should cry, I should scream. And I ended up crying because I didn't know. I was asking myself so many questions. I was like, this was a school that was supposed to be difficult to get. This was a course that was competitive to get. So what kind of grace, what kind of favor do I have that on top of the admission, they still gave me a 20% scholarship? So like, I was really broken. But you know what? God said on 24th of November, I need to make my girl smile. And he did it so perfectly that anytime I remember that day, I feel grateful. My offer that came was a conditional offer. And with my school, in order to get your final letter of acceptance, the school needs to confirm your hard copies of the original documents that you used to apply to the school. So since I can send it directly to the school, they've given the right to the agents or the agencies that apply to the school on your behalf to also confirm the original document. Okay, so I went to DHL and I sent my original documents to Male Educational Services in Nigeria, and when they received it, they confirmed, and they also kept my school in the known. So On the 6th of December 2023, at dawn, I woke up going for my normal Makola Wahala, and I was like, oh, let me check my mail. And when I took my phone, I noticed my final letter of acceptance was in my mail. Then at that point, I was so grateful that that side is done with. Like, I'm done with that side. Every educational provider in Australia needs to issue you with a COE, which is a certificate of enrollment, before you can even apply for a visa. So with my school, you have to first accept the offer, sign a letter, and send a soft copy back to my school before they can issue you a COE. This is where it started getting real. So my final acceptance letter came on the 6th of December, and UTS, which is my school, University of Technology, Sydney, gave me only 3 days. I repeat it again. They gave me only 3 days to pay my initial deposit. So you can't get a COE until you pay your initial deposit. And my initial deposit that I was supposed to pay that I was given only 3 days, that I know that, oh, Canada, at least they give them 2 weeks. Some of them, they give them even a month. UTS gave me 3 days, just 3 days to pay my initial deposit. And I was supposed to pay 17,968 Australian dollars. This is where I drew the line. I was like, God, I don't know how you do it. I don't know where I'm going to get the money from, but just have your way. If it is your will that we are going to raise this money within 3 days to be able to get this COE from the school, why not? If it's not your way, we'll wait and try some other time. And I can't also go and force my mom. I can't be hard on her. I don't even know what to say. I can't be insensitive. Like, you can't just come and ask your mom, I want 18,000 Australian dollars. Like, I didn't even know how to go about it. But you know what? I left it to God, and we sorted that out. You guys remember that verse, or you know that verse that says, He was never gonna leave nor forsake us. God never left me, and He never forsake me. He was with me. I mean, He was right by my side. He held my hand, and He told me, you know what, my daughter, everything will be fine. And we were able to sort out my initial deposit. And on the 15th of December, at dawn, everything comes at dawn because of the time difference, I went through my mail and I saw my COE, that is my certificate of enrollment. So now I had all my documents that I was ready to apply for my visa with. Then another thing came up. You know, when you're coming to Australia as a student, you are supposed to pay something called OSHC, that is Overseas Student Health Cover. So that is like a health insurance. You're supposed to pay like an amount that is like the whole duration of your studies. So let's say if you are studying from 2024 to 2026, you are supposed to pay like the health cover for the duration of your studies. So I sorted that out, and I want to give you guys a free advice. From the very day you decide you want to relocate to Australia, just know that you are ready to spend, because coming to Australia is not cheap and it's not for the weak. At a point, like, I broke down, I gave up, because I was wondering how I was going to do this big relocation thing all by myself. Like it was so huge that I was feeling the pressure at a point. But you know, God was with me. God is faithful. He was faithful and he's still faithful, you know. I had everything set and I was ready to apply for my visa. So I contacted Mel and I told her, oh Mel, I'm ready to apply for my visa, da 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 da. And she was like, oh, so the documents that I need to provide is my bank statements, which is I need to show proof of funds from my sponsor, and I'm supposed to pay my visa application fee, which is $600, and I need to add a GTE. So a GTE is like a requirement when you're applying for a student visa here in Australia, and a GTE simply means a genuine temporary entrance. So I used from the, is it 16th or 17th of December to gather all my documents, and on the 30th day of December, we decided to apply. Immediately I saw the email that I've applied for the visa, I started feeling sick, started having headache, like I was nauseous like at once, but I was definitely fine. And you know, after applying for your visa, you need to book for your medicals. So I booked my medicals for the 20th day of December, if I'm not mistaken. I got there and they asked me to go back home because I got there after 11 a.m. or 12 p.m. I don't really remember, and come back the following day because the numbers were huge and they don't know if they can attend to me. So I went back home and I went back to where I booked for my medicals, which is Akai House, Cantonment in Accra. And I got that sorted out on the 21st of December. And after that, I had to book for my biometrics. And with all this, Male Educational Services helped me throughout this whole process. Like, if I tell you they are very reliable, I mean what I'm saying, because I've tasted it and I know what I'm talking about, okay? You guys, whilst all these things were going on, the only thing that I was scared of was a rejection. Like, we made sure we gave them every document they asked for, because I wouldn't know how to behave, I wouldn't know how to take it if I got a rejection. So I just told myself, God, please have your way. And after booking for my medicals and sorting that out, I had to book for my biometrics, and nothing stressed the hell out of me than getting an appointment date for my biometrics. Like, I was literally mad for no reason because I was doing the wrong thing. I didn't have information about where to book my appointment, and Australian Home Affairs stopped working with VFS and they now work with TLS. So I was just doing the wrong thing and I was stressed for no reason. But finally I got the right info and I was able to book an appointment for the 4th of January around 9 a.m. So I got to Movenpick, sorted that out, and immediately I came out of the Movenpick hotel, the building. I just told myself, God, just have your way and just give me the strength to accept the outcome of my visa. You guys should just guess. You guys, my visa got approved within 16 working days. Hell no. You joking? No, I'm not joking. 16 days, guys. I just got the mail. I was in Makola. That day, I was just screaming, going like back and forth, the customers were asking me, are you okay? Are you okay? Because guys, like, I don't even know how to describe how I felt when I saw the mail. I was really grateful. Like, when I tell you guys, God has been faithful to me. I think you guys underestimate it, because I know what I've been through. Okay, I know what I'm talking about. And you guys, you know that thing that they say, pray for good people to come your way, like pray for good people in your life. You know, I was in Ghana and I was preparing to come to Australia, and I had nowhere to sleep because obviously I needed to get an accommodation. And my friend would just send me accommodations, send me prices, send me pictures of the rooms, the houses. Like, see, God bless my friend. God will bless. God will bless. And God will bless again. Like, you guys don't know how God was faithful to me. How he genuinely raised, like, good people to be of help to me. I will never forget it, and I really appreciate it. So I got my accommodation, I think a few days before I left Ghana. So I left Ghana on the 10th of February, and I got to Doha, and I connected on a 14-hour flight to Brisbane. So I got to Brisbane around 7:30 p.m. and I waited for some few hours, and I connected on my last flight, which is a domestic flight, Virgin Australia, to my last destination, which was Sydney. And when I got to Sydney, my friend was already there at the airport, picked me up, and obviously we had to pass by a convenience shop, Woolworths, to get like a few essentials because my room was definitely empty. Right from the convenience shop, we drove all the way to my apartment, and immediately I got here and I entered the building, I fell in love. Like, the place looked so good in real life than it even did in pictures, and I'm so happy I didn't make a bad choice at all. I have an apartment tour coming up pretty soon. You guys should please subscribe and don't forget to turn your notifications button on, okay? Because it's gonna be content back to back, okay? You guys, when you're saying a prayer, I want you to say one for my friend, because my friend literally helped my life. Like, I'm not talking about life spelled in small letters. I mean life spelled in capital letters. Like, my friend literally drives me everywhere to get my SIM card, get my bank account, get my photo ID. Like, I really appreciate it. And from the depths of my heart, I want to say God richly bless you for genuinely helping me and making my life here in Australia a little bit easier. God bless you. And where I live is called Campbelltown, which is a bit far from school. So you guys should please keep me in your prayers, okay? So I can get a car pretty soon. So I'll be done with all this bus wahala. But my landlady opted to pick me up from the train station anytime I close from school and it's late. God bless you so much, Miss Coco. I love you and I really appreciate you. Thank you for being so good to me, and God richly bless you. So how am I transitioning? Okay, it's been easy, it's been cool so far. I'm trying to take a step at a time. I'm not trying to go hard on myself, and most importantly, I'm grateful to God, like, honestly. And at the port of entry, I wasn't really asked any question. The only question the immigration officer asked me was if I have the yellow fever vaccination, and I told her no. And she handed over my passport to me, and told me, enjoy your stay in Australia. And guys, I'm here in Australia and enjoying my stay, like you said. So I want to use this opportunity to say a very big thank you to God, to my mom, to my friend, and any friend that played a role. Like, you guys made coming to Australia not as grievous, stressful, painful, and scary like I thought it would be. Like, I really appreciate it and I don't take it for granted. You guys feel free to leave your questions in the comment section. I'll try and answer all, or I'll try and do a Q&A and answer all your questions. And don't forget to follow me on TikTok, on Snapchat, and on Instagram, so we get interactive there too, okay? So I'm here now, enjoying my stay, and I'll see you guys in my next one. Bye. Ta-da!